Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to the Long Term Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, volleyball coach, University of Alberta computer science student, book enthusiast, and one of my best friends, Saverio Hackman. Welcome.
Thank you.
So can you tell me what it's like being a coach for volleyball?
Holy, man, there's a lot. It's a ton of fun. That's the big thing. Is like a couple years ago, it was the COVID year right before it started.
Right.
I started coaching U13 just because I forget how it happened.
What is U13?
Just kids like 13 and under, but usually around the 13 age.
Right.
But we coached that, like Nathan and I, and then COVID happened, so I think we got like one or two premiers in, which is premiers or tournaments.
Right.
And it just stopped. So that first season was cut short, and then a couple of summers later, I got to coach baseball, which is my sport, right? I know the most about it.
Right.
And what's been great though is these past 3 years, like I've been coaching 2 years for volleyball, 1 summer for baseball, and every year I've been coaching my brother. Right. So that's been a ton of fun.
So what are the kids like? Do they listen well? Or?
Oh, dude, there's a variety. But it's so much fun dealing with each personality.
Because I know you've been telling me a lot of these kids look up to you, like as a
I'd like to
figure,
think
and
so.
You have a lot of responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's more than just a game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Volleyball or baseball.
Yeah.
Do you do more volleyball coaching or?
Oh yeah. I have an opportunity to coach baseball this summer, but I kind of want to have a summer because coaching does take up a lot of time. That's the one thing is, as a coach, you need to like practice plan. You need to show up on time for practices.
Mm-hmm.
You spend a lot of weekends at like Calgary, Red Deer, Edmonton too here for like nationals and stuff. Oh, it's crazy, and it's like we're adding like a third practice now per week, and it's insane. So like for those who don't know, I coach with Nathan Michalski.
Right.
And every week we make practice plans for the week.
Right.
If we have a tournament, we also meet. We talk about, because we do player meetings, we tell them how, like what they're doing good, what they can improve on, what they think they're doing good on, what they can improve on. So him and I just have meetings,
right.
like just a lot of them. And it's a ton of fun.
It's hectic. Like I know you also go to school and you have time for the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You have like your family that you need to attend to. You got your friends.
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage all this stuff? I mean, I see you're always on the go, man. And when I do make plans with you, right, I get that you're busy.
Yeah.
So how do you do it?
But before I do say that, I do want to say I appreciate your understanding of like my busyness.
I do.
Because I do feel bad. Because like it's more often than not I do say no to you to going to the gym, but it's because I'm genuinely doing something, right? Yeah. But how do I manage it?
Yeah.
There's no like real secret way to do it. You just gotta do it. Like it's kind of like that discipline thing, right? Where it's like, okay, right now I'm a student, I gotta study, and then now I gotta transition into like whatever it is. If I've practiced later that night, or if I have to go to the gym before, it's like I have to be a student. Then it's like, okay, now I gotta mentally shift into being like a gym bro, a gym bro, whatever you want to be. And then it's like, okay, now that's done. Now I gotta go home, eat, chill, you gotta have some time to yourself, right? That's a big thing I've noticed, especially from working like full time in the summers and coaching.
Okay.
You need time for yourself. So.
And then what's it called? Going back to being a coach, I want to kind of dive deeper on that.
Mm-hmm.
With the kids that you teach, do you see yourself kind of in those kids? Because I know when we're teenagers, man, it's like there's a lot of built up tension in there, and there's a lot of you see a lot of just trying to find your identity, right? What kind of advice or what kind of talks do you give these kids? Because I know volleyball, baseball, or like all sports actually, it's more than just the sport, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of lesson do you want to extend out to the kids so that they could take it to their personal lives when it comes to studying, when it comes to maybe working out on their own, prioritizing health? What do you tell these kids that you're coaching?
Yeah, that's actually a big philosophy that Coach Nate and I have is we try to make them good volleyball players. We still want to win. We're competitive, right? Right. We want to win tournaments and all that, but we know that not everything is about volleyball. So we try to make them better people outside of volleyball too. So like, for example, like if we're at a tournament and we have an early game the next day, we usually set a curfew where they have to be in bed at a certain time, right? But the thing is
Sleep
we don't.
is important.
It is very important. Yeah. Oh my god. And you can tell the next day when you see kids walking in, they're like, "Hi, coach."
Yeah.
It's all this stuff, right?
It's like, buddy, what you get your sleep in?
What time do you go to bed?
Yeah.
You're not playing.
So you have to play Fortnite. Up all night.
Take a nap on the bench here.
Yeah.
We tell them you have this curfew. Okay. You must be in bed at this time, and if you're not, we'll know the next morning because you'll be tired, and you won't play. Right, so we kind of give them this responsibility where they have to be in bed at a certain time, or else there's consequences. Right. Right. It's just like in life, right? There's no free lunches, right?
Right.
So
you have to work for everything.
Exactly.
I mean, these kids, there's always a price to every single action that they take, and for you and Coach Nate or Nathan, you teach these kids that hey, whatever action that you do, there are consequences. Yeah. And you're not going to be able to play as well as you could have. Yeah. But it's so much more than just a sport. Yeah. I know our mutual friend Bryce Vaughan, he's always talking about, it's the mind too. It's more than just a sport. But
sorry, I want to interject really quickly because I just want to explain like in further detail like what else we kind of give them, because a big thing in sports is mistakes, right? Right. And Nathan and I really push the idea of it's okay to make a mistake, right? Because that's the only way you learn, right? And I remember this, I won't name the player, but last year, this player was having a tough practice.
Yeah. And he wasn't feeling it.
Like, you could just tell, like, he would, let's say, hit a ball to the back wall, which is obviously not good in volleyball, right? You want to hit down to the court. Yeah. You could tell he's getting very frustrated and all that. So I kind of like pulled him off to the side outside of the gym.
Are just hot, and he's not feeling it.
Yeah, exactly. And I got to talking, I was like, hey, like, what's going on and all this stuff like that, and he was telling me, like, and he started getting emotional, right? And he's saying, like, how he, he's having a terrible practice and all this, and that he's making so many mistakes, and then he also, it snowballed from the basketball game he had earlier and all that stuff. Exactly. Yeah. And the big thing is, like, going off, like, it's more than just a sport, is that I opened up about my, like, mistakes too, kind of telling him it's okay to make mistakes and that's how you learn it, right? So, like, I opened up about, because I failed the course in university. Right. I think it was Chem 101. Chem does not sit right in my head. It is...
You're not alone now. I don't miss.
The next time I took it, I got like a D+ or something.
It's okay.
It's so bad.
We bounce back.
We do. Yeah. But anyway, I was telling him about that, how, you got to make a mistake, you got to learn from it, and then you grow off of it, right? So, like, it's just... that's my favorite part about coaching, in my opinion. It's I love watching them play. I love seeing them beat teams we want to beat. Yeah. I love seeing them progress, but I love coaching them. And granted, I'm not Mr. Wisdom here, but I love giving them the wisdom that I know or the knowledge that I know to make them a better person. Right. And that's my favorite part about coaching, and that's why it's more than a game.
And you spoke of vulnerability too. Yeah. So by sharing kind of what you went through, even if it's unrelated to the sport, these kids just open up, right? That's what I find. When you share something, like a little piece of you, right? Mm-hmm. People kind of humanize or share more of them because they go, oh, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay to have those bad times. Mm-hmm. And so when bad times happen in your life, what do you do?
Well, I journal, right? I know. So I definitely go to that sometimes and just like, it's almost like a venting session to myself, and so I can read it later back and be like, okay, how can I continue to go through this?
I'm proud of your growth, man. You've come a long way.
I appreciate that. Yeah. But no, if I'm going through tough times,
everybody does.
Exactly. Yeah. It's tough because like there's not like one particular thing I do. It's just multiple things. Like I got to go back to what I like to do. Like this may sound kind of a little weird, but like I love listening to music. So like I'll like listen to my favorite artists to like really calm me down. I'll make sure I go to the gym. I gotta stay Dylan in the gym because the gym kind of keeps me like at my normal self.
It's actually like a social thing for the gym too, right? Oh, you go there, you see Jacob, you see Liam in there. Yeah. Times it does go.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
What's like Luke? You see Luke?
Jesus. Shout out to Luke. We love you.
No. Delano? No. Yeah. What? So, do you want to add any more?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think here because I definitely like lean on my friends a bit. Like I definitely like open up like to you. I've talked to you about my issues.
I lean on you, man. We support each other.
Oh
man.
yeah,
that's how we get through the tough times.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah. So like that's a big thing is I open up to my friends and I just tell them, hey, I'm going through this.
Yeah.
Like, do you have any? Like I always ask for advice because like I feel like getting a bunch of different perspectives, I can find one of them that really helps me out. I go to my mom a lot. She talks to me. I talk to her about things I'm going through.
That's great.
So yeah, I know you're gonna ask me like about a support system because I read through your questions. But I really lean on them in times of like adversity.
When you're honed in, right, you kind of forget like who you are, right? When you're so like bogged down and you really forget the good things in life. And when you talk to your mom, and I'm the same way too, I talk to my parents, they remind me, hey, like, you are a university student, you are a volleyball coach, you do have a lot of great long-term friends, right?
Yep.
And how does this support system play a role in your life? I know in tough times and bad times, you go to these people, but what do they tell you, right? Because I know it's kind of the same thing, right? But like, you know, what specifically do they?
Oh, it obviously depends on like the situation, but like, I don't even know where to go off this. Like, I know right now, I'm having a difficult time kind of like seeing my future self in a career that I'll like. Because right now I'm in computer science, but it's not my like passion. It's not what I want to do for the rest of life. I know when I was like 13, I told myself, you know, I'm not going to work a desk job.
Right.
And so I've talked to my mom about all this stuff like that, and she just, my mom's very, very knowledgeable in this kind of stuff, so she helped me out, kind of calm me down. And excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
There we go.
No, but your mom's been great. Like you have such a great role model.
Yeah, I do.
No, she knows how to talk to people, and she really knows how to make everyone around her feel better.
Yeah, and I also have these uncles that are like really, really awesome. They all have like different professions, and they really help me out a lot.
Yeah.
So I talk to them a lot. I talk to each of them about this like career path. But yeah, they just kind of like, I can't really say what advice they give me because it's just
there's so many.
Yeah, there's so many.
It's like whether it be about discipline, whether it be about forgiveness. What's kind of one thing you remember your uncles telling you?
Oh, I have this one uncle, and he's funny. He gave me like a lot of advice on like women.
Right. And what does he say?
He's like, the big thing is like, because like I'm nervous like going up and talking to a woman I'm attracted to.
Every single guy, bro.
Yeah.
Every single guy.
But he said the one thing that's always stuck with me is like it's kind of like whatever. But I've appreciated it and I've used it. But like they've essentially said no until you've asked. Meaning like if you don't ask them, if you kind of like I shouldn't ask them, you know, all that stuff, right?
You'll never know.
But it's not even that. It's already a no. Yeah. Right. So he says if you go up and ask, the worst thing they can say is yes. Besides, you're disgusting. Get away.
Yeah, no, what's that quote again with Wayne Gretzky? You miss. You miss every shot you don't take.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. But just like within life to kind of expand upon that, right? There's all these things that we want to do, right? But if you never do them, what's the point?
Exactly. Yeah.
What's it called? Let's. I want to talk about stoicism.
Oh, nice.
Shout out to Marcus Aurelius.
We love you.
And yeah, in regards to your reading as well, because I know before that what got you into reading?
So ever since a young age, like grade 2, I believe it was, I was reading Harry Potter by then. So my mom was buying me all these like big novels.
That's like pretty intense, man. Like Harry Potter, like your reading level was like what? Was that like a Z?
I think it's higher than a Z. I don't know.
ABC, ABC, right?
Yeah, I think it's something like that, but I'm not sure what it was. It's probably changed since then, but I know my mom still brags about that to this day. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, my oldest kid was reading Harry Potter.
He's pretty smart, but now
what happened?
So ever since then, like I've always been interested in reading. And then I got into like, you know, the Percy Jackson series and all that.
Oh, dude, me too, man.
Did you?
Always had a crush on Percy's
Annabelle.
girl. Yeah. That girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. They'll be reading them. Man, when are they gonna kiss? my little grade 7 pecker. Okay.
Oh Jesus.
Can you tell me more about the types of books that you're into and kind of what draws you into these books?
Yeah, so I'll continue where I was like going. So I read those like Percy Jackson books, right? And then like I just had like a reading slump, like the biggest one ever. It was like from like grade 6 to like first year of university, and that's a long time, right? But the reason why I got back into reading was because I have a family member who suffers from like mental health stuff and all that, and during that time I was in what's it called? I was in bio, so I had a very like objective mindset where it was like, of course, just do it. Like it's this. There's no gray area, right?
Yeah.
And her and I kind of got into like a little bit of butt-heading matches and all that.
Right.
We had some fights and all. Not really fights, but just kind of like arguments.
Yeah, that's normal, right?
Absolutely. And so I got to the point where like, man, like maybe like I need to like learn about this. So I bought this book. It's a self-help book called The Courage to Be Disliked, I believe it is.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, you tell me about that.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, what does this book entail?
So it's about, I might say this wrong, but it's Adlerian psychology. I don't remember the full extent to it, but there is one piece that I did take away from it, and it helped me out quite a bit, kind of like mentally, kind of like not taking on other people's issues. It's like separation of tasks where you have your issue and this person has their issue. You can help them out too, but you need to let them figure it out on their own. Right? But that's the biggest thing I took it away, and I still use it to this day. But where was I going with this? Then it just kind of took me down the rabbit hole of like self-help and all that. So like answering your question of like what books I read, it's usually like self-help, sci-fi books sometimes, and philosophy. I love reading some philosophy. Right now I'm reading like Albert Camus.
Oh wow.
What book is it? I forget what it's called. But it's heavy. Like I'm on page like 20 I think, and I've been reading it for a week because it's just like I don't understand this. It's so complex. It's
hey, those books that you find challenging, those are the books that really, it's incite growth. Yeah, I think with life, any single time you experience toughness, or that's where you grow, right? Because I'm sure reading those pages for The Courage to Be Disliked and kind of sitting down, and while it is enjoyable at times, there are times where you don't want to do it.
Nope.
How does discipline play a role in your life?
How does discipline play a role in my life?
Yeah.
Well, it definitely plays a role in reading, because I've been struggling with the discipline to continue my reading habit. Because like yesterday I was at work, and my for those who know me, my work is not challenging. Like it's not extensive. Like so I had some time to read, but I'd be reading, and then I'd look on my phone because it's right there, right? It's just it's just TikTok. It's like Instagram Reels. It's like oh my God, Liam sent me another car crash video. Yeah. I have to look at that, right? Oh my God, someone died. That's an issue in itself. Him sending me these car crash videos. Yeah. How are they even allowed on TikTok or Instagram? It's crazy. But anyway, discipline. I definitely struggle with it. But the best thing I am at keeping my discipline is going to the gym. Now
you've been great at that.
But recently though, I did have like a little bit of like a slump where I just didn't go, and it was because of I don't want to like blame it on anything. It's all me. It's all my discipline, right? But
of course,
this summer it was like a lot of drinking because I worked at the golf course. So it was free golf, and then oh my gosh, the graduate driver's license came. So I was like, I can have a few drinks, right? I'm not paying money for golf, so I was like, I'll have 2 drinks, and that's my limit. And that was like every time I went golfing, and I golfed like 4 times a week. It was like, holy man, it was crazy. And then I went to Vegas. That was just a drunk
story
fest.
too with Liam and the Mexican guy.
Oh my
lap dance.
God, that was so funny.
Can you tell that story?
Yeah.
Tell that story.
If you want, I can even send you the video. You can like play it in the podcast too. So I'll ask Liam if he wants. Sure. What happened was, I'll start earlier because like the first thing we did was golf. What's that thing called? Where they like hit off a thing? Top golf, I think it's called.
Right.
We when we were doing a reservation, we had to say what the event was because they knew we were traveling and all that. Right? So we said, it's Liam's bachelor party.
Right. Yeah, you guys were going around. Big group of you, right? And you were telling every single venue that it was Liam's
bachelor party.
Okay.
And so they gave us like a free accommodation to a nicer room, like with couches and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was awesome, and
that's like a hack for those
of
you that want to go to Vegas in a group. One of your friends
is on a bachelor party.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys are all on a bachelor party.
Go on with that.
But anyway, I think it was like the next day we went to Dick's. And for those who don't know what Dick's is in the States, I believe it's only in the States, but it's where the waitresses and waiters are just like complete assholes to you.
Really?
Oh yeah, like they'll throw menus at the waitress where you had
like they'll all sit there and they'll be like, shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah, they would.
Yeah,
no, seriously, they'd be like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Ice. No, water with ice. Really?
Mm-hmm.
You little, and then like, they'll say something to you, right?
Right.
And it's like, holy man, that's excessive. But no, it was so funny. And then the waitress was like, hey, so she was asking, what's going on? Oh, it's our buddy's bachelor party.
Right.
And she goes, oh, nice. And Liam was on the far end of the table here, and a buddy and I were on this side, and the waitress was right here. And she asked us, she goes, hey, for $20, we can get you a fat Mexican man to give your buddy a lap dance.
Wow.
So my buddy and I looked at each other and we were like,
let's do it.
We might have to. So she
went,
she came back.
Worth.
The guy, yeah, exactly. The guy, my buddy gave her the $20.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, Liam is getting a crazy lap dance from just a fat Mexican. The $20 that we gave her, she gave it to Liam, who's just getting sat on by this big man. Right?
He was like 300 pounds, right?
Oh, it was probably more.
Wow.
But
100.
Oh, it was crazy. But then the waitress gave him the $20 bill, and next thing you know, his name was Taco, because he has Taco like tatted across his stomach. I'm not kidding. It's Taco. And he pulls his pants on just a little bit, and there's I forget what it's called, but I think it's like a J strap or a G string.
Yeah.
And we're all losing our minds.
But he has a G string.
just on the go.
Wow.
He has that already.
I heard it's comfortable, man. Like, I don't. Maybe I can't fault him for that. I heard it's comfortable.
Is it really?
Yeah, I might have to try.
Let me know when you do. But
that's amazing.
So like he stuck it in there. The thing was over, and we were. I forget what hotel we were in.
Yeah.
But there was like an opening here, and like just crowds of people were just watching Liam and cheering him on, videoing, and all that stuff like that. It was amazing.
You've always been a person that's been surrounded by great people all your life, and that is no coincidence, because you do care for them and you do your due diligence to be a good friend. Now, how do you do it? I mean, how do you be a good friend? I know that sounds like such a simple question, right? But it's actually difficult.
I don't even know how to answer that.
Right?
It's like, well, I appreciate you saying that.
And like we haven't been friends for that long.
It's like I think it's coming up on like a year.
Has it?
February?
Think so, yeah. We knew each other in middle school, right? We never really talked. High school, never really talked. But it wasn't until at the U of A that I was in the, and then we met in the washer, or at the urinal. Or for those of you that didn't know how the friendship started, I was thinking it was the first week of school.
I think it was.
And I went to the sub building. It's called the Student Union Body Building or something like that.
I think it's just building.
Building? Okay.
So.
I go to the washroom and I just minding my own business. I wasn't minding my own business. I look over.
You were looking at something.
Saverio! You look over. Advent!
Yep.
No, and then that's how it all started.
That is, yeah.
But yeah, you've just been such a blessing, man. You've been so great, and having you around, and it's always just good times, and I find myself always uplifted and growing, and I feel like everybody feels it. Everybody feels your presence, and because you care. How does that take time? Does that take effort for you? How do you do it?
Well, again, I appreciate that. I don't know how I'm supposed to answer that question. Right. Because I think of just being my normal self.
Like empathy. You're empathetic.
I'd like to think so. I don't know.
Because you were telling me a story about that one buddy at the gym one time, and you said he wasn't really having a good day, and you noticed that. What did you look for? Did you...
man, these are good questions. It's not like I'm looking for anything. Like I think I kind of do this subconsciously, so I gotta kind of
like their speech, their body language, maybe their eye contact.
It's definitely their body language. I'd assume.
Right.
Definitely eye contact, and just the way they like respond to questions that I ask, especially like
how are you?
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like and the way they respond, like with their tone of voice and how they like say fine. It's like there's a difference between like fine and oh I'm fine. Like because you can see they're kind of like up there looking at you instead of like oh fine. Looking down, not really much, but like again, like I don't really look for it. Kind of just like when they kind of like answer me like that, I kind of just like tilt my head a bit. I'm like, okay, that's weird, but like I don't do it like in the forefront of my brain. It's just subconscious, like so. And
then after that, you're like, oh, yo, man, what's really wrong?
Yeah, like I ask because I'm assuming this guy you're talking about is close to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if they're not close to me, I'll kind of like tiptoe around glass, right?
Yeah.
But if they're close, I'll definitely speak up and ask.
That's awesome, man.
But I don't know. I don't think it's anything I specifically do. It's just like I think it's just the way I brought up and like the way my mom and dad kind of raised me. It's just to like think about other people, care for other people. And my dad did it in ways that was kind of unorthodox. You know, he'd be like, "Hey, get out of the way from the TV. I'm watching here," and I'd be like, "Oh, sorry." So now I always look to see if he's watching TV. It's just I don't know. It's just stuff like that. But my mom definitely like if anybody knows my mom. Like they know that she's like the most caring person. She will put. She's
strong.
Oh, like, she is. She'll put
her voice carries like a very immense energy to it. Like
oh yeah, absolutely.
Not only is it compassionate, but it's very strong.
Yes.
It has some power to it. You know.
Most definitely. I mean,
I feel like you get that from your mom.
Do I?
Right?
That's funny. No, but yeah, you definitely get that with a redhead Italian.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, just the way she brought me up, like just always thinking about people. If I did something that kind of like made someone hurt or like hurt their feelings and all that, she'd be like, "Saverio, go say sorry."
It's incredible.
Yeah, and she'd be like, you know, bring out the wooden spoon and stuff like that. And she wouldn't do that. She never hit. Actually, the only time a person in my family got hit with a wooden spoon was from me.
On purpose?
Yes. Yeah. It was to my little brother. We were at my Guido and Bubba's house, and I was like, man, I wonder if all the stories are true. Does a wooden spoon really hurt? It's like, hey, Noah, come here. I brought out his wrist. And I took a wooden spoon. And I swear to God, I only hit him this hard.
Yeah.
Bruise.
Oh wow.
Bruise. I'm like, okay, it's serious.
You gotta stop working out, man. It's doing too much.
Dude, I was like 14 when I did that. And to this day, my brother's like, no, you slapped me like this. I'm like, I swear I didn't.
It's that story going around, right? Like, yeah, it's so bad.
It's very abusive.
Yeah. What is your purpose? Yeah. I know it's a very hard question.
That is a very hard
many
question.
things, but when you wake up in the morning, right? What's your purpose?
Well, the big thing that's motivating me right now with purpose is coaching, because like I genuinely love those kids that I'm coaching right
awesome.
Now. Like they're just a fun group of kids, and like I have to watch myself sometimes because I feel like an older brother with them, and
you don't want to be too harsh, right?
Yeah, like I want to play with them more. I want to like joke around with them more because like obviously my humor's it has not matured at all. It's still very much that age. So like I see all the stuff on TikTok. I know what they're doing. Like they do this thing where it's like it's like mewing. It's like it's the dumbest thing ever. But like I
mewing. Yeah. Oh wait, and then you mewing through the nose.
Yeah. Bye bye. No, it's so stupid. But
that's how you connect though.
Exactly. No, 100%. Yes, and that's what I find myself doing more. But this year I've taken on a role of making sure I'm still a coach when I need to be.
Right.
And that's tough. So like that's like the biggest thing that's kind of I guess in your words like getting me up in the morning is to be that coach that I want to be, right? But in a more bigger picture.
Right.
Just I guess just being a good friend and a good family member. But a thing that's like bothering me is like since I don't know what I want to do for a career yet and I want to be successful, I want to provide for a family and all that stuff, right? I've talked to you about that.
There, yeah, you'll get there.
Hopefully, yeah.
In front of the other.
Like I have this picture in my head of like what I want to do in like let's say 10 years, and since I don't have a career, that image feels like it's kind of being like chipped at and like breaking away. So that's kind of freaking me out a little bit. But no, definitely my purpose right now is being the coach I want to be. Because I bring my coaching philosophy from my favorite coach of all time. His name's Coach Ori.
Right.
Or his full name's Ori Renwick, I believe. And holy man, he was just a blast. He was so he was like our older brother, but then he made us run polls.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. It was but it's a perfect balance that I'm trying to get. But last year I was more of like the buddy coach, but this year I'm trying to bring in the other part. But
that's awesome. Like it's hard to find kind of that balance, right? You want these kids to improve, and you don't want to be like too hard on them, but at the same time you want to connect, right? And it's like finding that balance, right? Mm-hmm. Do I want these kids to hate me? Do I want these kids to like me? You know, you can't them like you too much because then you guys will just be buddies. You know?
And our team
making those Mewin jokes all the time, right? They'll just think you're like that. You are like them, but you're not.
Yeah.
You know? And it's finding the balance. And I know some days maybe you're too hard, and some days you're too soft, but that's respectable, man. Mm-hmm. These kids are very lucky to have you, and certainly the parents, right? They message you. Can you tell us about that?
It's not just from Nathan and I from coaching, like this podcast. Actually, I don't know what I was gonna say there. I don't know why I said this podcast. I don't know what the hell that was for. But if you don't mind, I'll bring up my phone.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Where is it actually?
Where's your phone?
That's a good question. Anyway, it's right here. When I was coaching baseball. Yeah. Here, I'll show you the photo that I don't know if I showed you before. I think I did.
I did. Yeah.
When I was coaching baseball, this mom reached out to me because she was the mom of the catcher that I was coaching, and when I played baseball, I was a catcher, so I spent a lot of time with him making the catcher that I was, and I thought that I got a lot of compliments with how I was as a catcher, right? So I was like, okay, well, I'll do what I know, and then you can be a catcher.
Of course.
So if you want to read this, you don't have to speak it out loud or anything, but that, like, stuff like that.
Sorry if I read it out loud?
You go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Saverio, I just wanted to say thank you for all the work you put in with Cash. This is by far the best season he's had, and he gives all the credit to you. I hope you continue coaching. You're a natural at it. The difference in confidence this year compared to last year was so huge for my boy and for Noah. Coaches can make or break a player, and as parents, when you get a good one, it is so appreciated. So thank you, dude. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I can tell why you love coaching so much.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
But I don't do it for this, obviously.
Yeah, of course, but it's a plus side, where you want these kids to improve, and you want to see them grow and be their very, very self.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you were there in their position at one point, right?
Oh,
You often look back and wish.
Yeah.
What if there was a person that kind of held my hand, not too soft, right? You don't want to be too protective because that ends up kind of biting you later on. Yeah. But dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. And it's also continued on, and since my mom is obviously part of the parent group because I coach my brother, she hears a lot of the chatter that the parents talk about Nathan and I, and it's nothing but good, and it feels so good. Like, obviously, like I said, we don't do it for that, but it just helps us and it motivates us to just be better coaches and just help out their kids being a better volleyball player and a better person. Right. So it's just, I don't know, it's great stuff.
What do you struggle with right now?
The big thing right now is the career thing that I'm talking about. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, right? But I know that it's gonna be something that makes me successful enough where, like I said, I have this image in my head how I want to have, like, a lake house. I want to have a boat, take whatever on the tube and all that, all the stuff that I've kind of not really grew up doing, but I went to friends' dads' places and all that, and they kind of did that. So, like, I have this image in my head where I want to provide for a family in a way. I want a career that can do that, but I also want to have a career that I enjoy. About it. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I just haven't found that yet. And it's not computer science. I'm not passionate about it.
Right.
I just do.
Are you gonna go forth with it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm gonna finish it all the way through, and I'll probably get like a job in there for like a few years until I find something I really want to do and that I'm really passionate about.
And I think knowing you, man, you definitely. Nobody really knows what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? But yeah, I think that's just, you're very vulnerable about it too, which is like, I appreciate.
Yeah.
Now, does that take time? That takes a lot of courage, right? Going out and telling others about your struggle.
Yeah.
How does that play out kind of in your interactions when you tell them like that? And I know for your students, you call them?
Just your players.
Yeah. That you coach, being vulnerable, talking about your struggles, they feel a lot better because it connects you guys.
Yeah.
You know, with your friends, your family, when you tell them this, what type of feedback do you get?
Oh, I definitely feel them opening up, 100%. Like you can tell that they kind of like have this breath of relief, and then they
and
talk.
It's like, oh, it's not just me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just me that doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, and it kind of shows the person you're opening up to that you're not perfect. You're not perfect. No one has no struggles, right? Everyone's struggling with something always, right?
Nobody gets through this life.
Exactly. You're always gonna have a problem no matter what it is, and a big thing is do you want to make yourself have good problems or bad problems, right?
Like Mark Manson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good problems or bad problems, but opening up about struggles, especially as a coach, it really that I feel like that connects me more to the players than it does joking about the whole mewing or whatever skibbity toilet. The whole it's so stupid. I don't know what happened, but that's a big thing that is funny or whatever. But I feel like the struggling, like telling them that okay, like when I was talking to that one player, like hey, I failed a class, I learned from it.
Good.
I came back. Granted, I didn't do much better. Like I didn't get a B, I didn't get a C plus or anything. I got a D plus, but I still passed. Right. So I was telling him about that, and that made our connection even stronger. Right. Yeah. So it definitely like you could tell like when you talk about your struggles, they're listening attentively. They're looking at you with intent. Like it's just genuine and it's just authentic. And I'm a big advocator for being authentic. I don't really like being fake and just saying like what no I don't have this addiction, no I don't have that problem.
You lie to yourself at the end of the day.
Exactly. No, it's like I do have this issue. Let's talk about it, right? Because when you talk about stuff, you like especially deep stuff like that, it builds a genuine connection with people and an authentic one. It's not based off of fake stuff, right?
Yeah.
You build off of genuine struggles, genuine talks, genuine authentic, all this stuff. Next thing you know, you have this great relationship like you and I have, right?
Dude,
we always talk about.
I tell you about my shame, man. My doubt. Like I don't know what I'm doing, and I look in the mirror sometimes. I'm insecure, and you know what, dude? That's okay. And I tell you the struggles with girls, you know, with finding myself in this world. Like, who am I? Yeah. What am I here to do? Right? And I still wake up every day. Yeah. And kind of we bond over that.
Exactly.
You know, I feel like it's just going back to it makes the relationship expand.
Exactly.
Because it's just. You accept because you see all these people and we all just smile, right? And social media, it's all the highlights. Yeah. But then when you're talking to someone, it's authentic. Like exactly. What you said.
Exactly. And but look at our friendship though, right? Yeah. I think it's literally been like a full year. Like actually to the date.
Quality,
not to the date.
Quality though. You know?
Exactly. But that's the thing is it doesn't feel like our friendships lasted a year or it's been a year of friendship. Some of your friendships are like, it's more acquaintance, you're getting closer. But you and I, since we were like able to talk about our struggles,
crazy man. I'm so
we struggled together. During the marathon, right?
Dude.
Oh my gosh. we struggle together. We talk about our struggles. We joke. We obviously still have a great friendship, right? But that's why we are able to like if I don't work out with you for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even a month.
Missing, man. I feel that.
Exactly. No, same here. Yeah. But then when we get back together, it's like we talk and it's just like. It's just like so like you said, uplifting, and it just makes it better.
One thing I want to share with everyone is I went to Saverio. I think we were working out, and I'm like, hey Saverio, we should run a marathon.
Oh my god!
Back in that was almost last year? Yeah, pretty much last year.
Very close.
He goes, oh, I could never. No. I could never. And I'm not a runner. I'm a big guy. Like, you know, you a lot of muscle. You were what at the time, like over 200?
220.
Yeah, and
225ish.
But then, you eventually, like a week later, you're like, why not?
Yeah.
So then we start training, and there were like a lot of downs and like, oh man, my leg, or 3K, oh gosh. And we had a time where we were going at 5 a.m. every single day.
Oh, those were so much fun.
Yeah, and then eventually we were doing 10Ks and 15 and 20, and then one day 30, and then Saverio completed the full marathon on late of August 2023. Now, is there something that you'd like to say to the people listening and in regards to that, the training to that too? What advice would you give to someone that doubts, because you doubted yourself at that time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you did it, right? And being over 200 pounds, a marathon, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And you did it.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to someone kind of
For marathon training?
In any aspect of
Any?
life? Like doubt. How do you deal with doubt?
Oh, doubt. Okay, well, if I want to give advice for someone that wants to run a marathon, do it with you. just
do it with me.
Just run with Advin. It makes it so much easier.
I will give you the cheesiest things, but it'll be great.
It'll be funny.
If you want to run a marathon, let me know. Let me know.
Advin vitality.
But yeah, about other aspects.
About doubt, definitely share it with other people. Like, open up to other people, especially people you're close with. Even if you feel like the struggle is like very, very like easily judgmental, find someone. Well, if you have a person that doesn't judge you and takes it in for what it is, definitely open up to them.
Finding good people.
Yeah, right? and my another advice is like, when people are talking about their struggles, don't judge them.
Don't judge them. Don't shy away.
That completely shuts them down. That completely makes them feel worse.
Cuts off a good possible friendship.
100%.
Yeah.
And it 100%. And
closes them off.
Just judgment free opening up, because if you open up about deep struggle, you obviously, when you have doubts, you're like, man, what are people? You obviously, like, people always think about what other people think about, right? So when people are thinking about this doubt and thinking about sharing it with other people, they're like, oh man, what are they gonna think of me?
True.
Are they gonna think of me any worse? Are they gonna think of me like X, Y, and Z? Whatever it is, right? Judgment free.
Good.
Do it judgment free. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, I wanna wrap off with that. Can you say it, Saverio? Keep it long term.
Keep it long term, baby. Yeah.
Peace. That was great, man. I feel like we could keep going. I want this to be like 4 hours.
I thought it was going to be.
You know? It's just, I know you guys don't want to listen to this entire thing. But if you did make it this far, beautiful.
We appreciate you.
Take notes. We appreciate you. But yeah, keep it long term. That's it. Peace.
That was fun.
That was fun, dude.
I gotta do another one of those with